Morning, everybody. This is Ken with Andrea Cans.
Hi, and this is Andrea with Andrea Cans. Happy July the 7th, I guess it is already.
We're just cruising along. Our cucumbers are starting to come along. We've got 7 beautiful ones right here. We've had some decent rain, some decent heat, and the plants are loving them, and they're still small plants, but we are so low on pickles and stuff, we decided to convert these into hamburger slice pickles, which are the round slices. And I'm sure everybody got different terminologies for them, but they're sliced pickles, and we're gonna jar some of them up today because we are out.
My first mother-in-law used to call them pickle chips, and that might just be a Minnesota term, I'm not sure, but we have friends here in Gava that love pickles. I have people all over the country that love this particular recipe. I'm going to show you a little bit later of just my dill pickles. Now I also do bread and butter pickles, sweet pickles, those kinds of things. Anything that should be pickled, I can pickle. But this is one of our best recipes. It's tried and true. I've been doing this recipe for almost 5 years now, and it's my recipe and how we make the brine. So I'll show you that in just a minute. But Kim is going to commence on chopping the cucumbers up, and we'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. Bye. Hi everyone, this is Andrea Martin with Andrea Cans, and Kim's going to show you what he's going to do with this kind of funny looking cucumber right there. He has a way of doing those particular ones for me. Now we have this wonderful mandolin. My Aunt Betty from Olathe, Kansas sent it to Kim specifically about 4 years ago for Christmas. And it works like a dream, doesn't it, honey?
I love this machine. I tried to use it, show you how to use it in doing carrots and stuff, but that was my first time with carrots, but I did figure out how to work a carrot in there. But usually with a curved pickle like this, I'll just cut him in half. That way he'll go into the chute. He's still gonna be smiling a little bit, but he'll go into the chute a little easier. And this is how this beautiful machine works. You just put it in there. It's going to get a little wonky here because it is still a smiling pickle, but it'll still slice it. You'll get, I guess as Vlasic calls them, you'll get ovals out of it, and it turns them into sliced ovals. But that's how you take care of something like that in a machine like this, and it still saves your fingers.
So Kim's always been the person that cut up my pickles for me. We cut up the cucumbers for pickles, and he was ruining his knuckles from the mandolin we had. And so my sweet Aunt Betty knew about this going on, so she sent this to Kim, and it does work pretty slick for just about chopping anything. You even make potatoes in here,
carrots,
or cheesy potatoes, whatever the need may be. So I think it's a QVC special, but you know, if you can find one, I highly recommend you get one. I've not looked on Amazon to see if they have a mandolin like this for sale, but it does work really well. And it also
Zachariah is what it says on the front.
And it also has suction cups on the bottom, so you can suction cup it too.
In place.
Yeah, so it doesn't move around on you. And I don't have to worry about Kim's poor knuckles anymore. So we're going to keep on keeping on here, and I hope you're having a great day. This is Andrea. Talk to you later.
Hi, everyone. Forgot to tell you, though. I washed these off because all these cucumbers, of course, have little prickly pears on them. So you clean them off. I cut the flower ends off. I cut the stems off. I didn't show you that part. That's kind of, everybody should know that. Then we processed them, and now I get to become the pickle packer because Andrea likes the way I pack my jars. So I'll put these in the jars, then she's gonna brine them up and bubble them, and then we'll cook them down. But it's a pretty simple process. You got large ones, you got small ones, and these taste so good.
These guys sure aren't bitter. They're very delicious this year. I'm so pleased we're getting cucumbers.
I believe these are Burpee straight eights.
Ours are straight eights. We had no cucumbers last year, you guys, and we don't know what we did wrong.
I couldn't grow a cucumber to save my bottom.
We couldn't save anything. Couldn't grow cucumbers. We sure had lots of tomatoes.
But everyone else around here was having the same problem. I don't know what the deal was about the year, but
And sometimes, some years things grow, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the year and the environment and, You did move the cucumbers in our garden this year though, so they're further on, they're faced on the south side.
I did a crop
Yeah.
rotation, so.
South side of our garden, which is a good thing. That's why we're having, I think, a good year with cucumbers.
I
Can't
know
tell
we're
you.
gonna have some butternuts this year. If you guys got any good recipes, or if anyone's ever canned a butternut, I know they're a long-term plant. You can put them on the shelf and they're just fine.
Which we
but,
have. We've wintered butternuts in the basement before.
but if there's any butternut recipes besides just slicing it open and throwing butter and brown sugar in them, if any of y'all got any suggestions, I'm game to try almost anything once or twice. But otherwise, you know, tried and true always works. I might fit one more little guy in there.
We'll be back to you in just a minute. Ken's going to do his pickle packing movement and motion right now, and we'll be back and I'll show you how brines are done. See you later. Bye. Happy Monday afternoon, you guys. This is Andrea Martin with Andrea Cans. I'm back and I'm going to show you. Me and Melissa did this exact same thing a couple of videos ago. I haven't posted a lot. We just haven't had any fruits or vegetables coming on lately. But we actually were able to get, our cucumbers are doing really well this year. We have 7 pints of cucumbers, and Kim chopped them up, as you were able to see just a few hours ago. So my brine is so super easy. Anybody can do this brine. It's so easy. You just take 8 cups of water. Go. And I also take 4 cups of vinegar, but I'm going to use a little vinegar to swirl out my poor sad remains of garlic in this jar. Waste not, want not, as my daddy used to say. We've got garlic. I'm going to throw in here that's left over. That looks like about a tablespoon of garlic that was left over. So I will add 2 more tablespoons of garlic from my brand new jar. Now you can get garlic in bulk anywhere. I'm not one to sit here and pound out garlic cloves, you guys. I just don't have the time. So I get minced garlic, and I discovered this during the pandemic when we couldn't get garlic anywhere, and I wasn't growing garlic at that time either. So anyway, there we go. There's 3 tablespoons of garlic. I have a half a cup of pickling salt. Now we find this to work just fine for us. Some people prefer to add a cup. I always find it to be too salty for us. Half a cup works great, this recipe, and 1/4 of a cup dried dill. And this works really well. And I just throw this all together, and my next step is, it's this simple. I'm gonna go put it on the fire, we're gonna boil it off, and then I'm gonna add the brine to the jars. Simple, easy peasy, you guys can do this. We'll be back to you in just a few minutes. Hi everyone, so my brine is done. I wanted to edit one thing with you guys. So I always add 4 cups of vinegar, and I was in a rush to get this on the flame, so I should have showed you what that looks like. But the recipe is 4 cups of vinegar, just white distilled vinegar, 8 cups of water, half a cup of pickling salt. Sorry, I can't talk. 1/4 of a cup of dill, and 3 heaping tablespoons of garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like, filling up my jars. And these are going to be very pretty. I'm really excited. We've got cucumbers this year. Last year we had zilch. So I even had to go buy cucumbers from the Little Red Barn. You just fill up your jars like this. I'm going to have Kim come over here and debubble these for me. But this is just a simple, easy process. We had enough cucumbers to be able to go ahead and jar these this time around. So Kim, you want to come show what debubbling looks like? While I work on this. And you guys, this is such an easy, simple process to learn. It takes no time at all, and it works really well. And then you have a really great end product. Me and Melissa did some pickling not too long ago, but we pickled asparagus, and that worked out really well too. So Kim's gonna debubble these pickles. This is my husband, Kim. And he cans right alongside me. Actually, he probably does a tad more than I do, because I work full time and he is retired. Here's that one. But we did get 7 pints today. We're gonna have cucumber hamburger pickles, or pickle chips, as my Minnesota friends call them. And with whatever brine I have left over, you guys, I'll just put it in a big old jar and stick it in the refrigerator. I think we'll be pickling again by week's end, just by the way the plants look. So I think next time though, I think I'll make a little relish. I'm out of just plain old dill pickle relish. We had to get deep into our stores because we had not a lot of pickles last year. Now all my 22s and 23s are used up. So anyway, this is what this looks like. This goes on lickety split. Tell everybody about the squash. I know you mentioned a little earlier, Mr. Martin, how many squash we have.
I put in 4 butternut squash plants. I'm making beautiful butternuts right now. We're gonna have a ton of butternuts, so that's why I put out the call for anyone know any other recipes besides the brown sugar butter baking them. Let us know. Maybe you know a recipe that we can utilize for canning. Other than that, we're gonna have so many butternut. It's gonna be unbelievable. They're doing wonderful. Usually we'll do summer squash and zucchinis. We did not this year. Butternuts themselves will shelf just nicely in the cold room downstairs where I put my potatoes and other vegetables that fare really well in the shelf life variety. That one was a little tall. I'll put that one right there. That'd be perfect. But we're gonna have a lot of them, so they're huge, beautiful plants. And of course, with the vining plant, it's already combined into where my cucumbers are. So I'm gonna have cucumbers and butternuts hanging. It'll look like hanging off the same vine, but they're totally different.
There we go.
But we'll have plenty, that's for sure.
And that is a good thing.
Looks like I might need a bale spoon and
I'll
a
grab
cup
it.
of water.
I'll talk to you all in a few minutes. Bye. Hi, you guys. So I've got all 7 jars of pickles out here in our outdoor cannery. We can outside just because it's so hot here, and everything stays cooler inside, and we don't have to run the air, and the bought air won't get out, and blah blah blah, whatever, and just cool out the house. So anyway, we have 7 cans in here. I'll show you what that looks like when they're done. Talk to you all in a few minutes. Bye. Hi, you guys. So our pickles are done, and they look really good. Let me take a look at myself and show you, but they turned out beautifully. Let me show you. Beautiful pickles. So we're gonna put these guys right over here, let them cool off for about, good hour. By then we'll know if everything's sealed. Take them inside, put them on the shelf. I do have one friend here in town that loves to give pickles to his wife, so he will get the first jar. Anyway, this is Andrea Swain Martin with Andrea Cans. I hope you guys are doing well, and thank you for going out and liking and subscribing to our channel. Our harvest is on now, so we're excited about that. Talk to you all later. Bye. Got it okay, babe?